Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I figured I was going to go over kind of my direction and what decks I'm going to be working with in November. I'm going to start adding in oracles because I have a wonderful collection of oracles and I always tend to talk about tarot and I kind of skip over the oracle portion of my practice. And to tell you honest to God truth, like I love my oracles. Yes, I use tarot more. I totally 100% use my tarot more. However, a good oracle is a good oracle. Like, I mean, I have a bunch of oracles that I absolutely adore and love. I find oracles are good for those days that you just don't feel like hearing it from your tarot. You know, the days that maybe you need a little bit more of a softer delivery or a little bit more of a kinder direction. Some tarot delivers the messages really gently. However, most of my decks are, pretty straightforward. And sometimes I just don't feel like having that thrown in my face. Like, do you know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I just really want to kind of pull an oracle card for a little bit of guidance, a little bit of structure, a little bit of direction. I do tend to use my oracles more in like meditation. I like to like kind of a direction for like my meditation or something to contemplate. And then obviously, like everybody else, Oracle and tarot go great together, and you can lay your cards and you can pull out a card to just kind of give you a little bit of a focus or a direction, or maybe just kind of bring that whole reading in a little bit better. There's those roadblocks, and you're just kind of like, I don't understand what my tarot is trying to tell me. And the message just isn't coming through the way that you want it to, right? Or as easily as it does other times. And at that time, then I grab my oracles and I'm like, okay, what is this talking about? And I pull an oracle. Some oracles I find completely useless because you're stuck to the book and it's like weird words or it's phrases that I'm like daughter of the sea. Like, what the hell does that mean? Do you know what I mean? I tend to like oracles that have like good keywords and good direction where I can turn to the book if I want to, but at the same time I can decide to not use the book and know exactly what it's talking about and where it's going. So it oracle world is a little bit of a funny world. You're usually a little bit more bound to books with oracles unless you really get to know the oracle really good, or like I said, it's more based on keywords, right? So today we're going to take a look at majority of what I have here is tarot, but I don't necessarily lay out oracles that I'm going to work with for the month. I do my tarot and then the oracles I just kind of fill in like at that moment like what I'm feeling or what seems to be speaking to me. So I kind of go that way with it. But so I've emptied out my October basket. Um so all of my Halloween or like spooky decks have been now put away. And I'm now going to go into like my November energy. The funny thing about November energy, and I actually said this in one of my previous videos recently, the November energy to me, I kind of like my fairy energy in November and October. So there was some fairy decks that I did work with throughout October. Um, and I have some in here now that I'm going to work with for November. So I kind of November's energy is an interesting energy to me because it's kind of like we're not quite going into like the seasonal feeling of Yule, but at the same time we're now past Samhain, right? So it's like, and I don't want to sound like taboo or weird when I say this, but I find like November is a lot about death. You know, we have Remembrance Day, we have the Day of the Dead. Like there's a bunch of different celebrations across the world that kind of exist um, kind of around death in November, right? So, or remembering events that were traumatic or remembering past things, right? So, November is a very interesting month to me. So, you'll see it's kind of reflected through the decks that I picked. So, I'll stop blah, blah, blahing and I'll get to the decks and let's check these out. So the first deck I'm going to work with, or I plan on working with in November, and I plan on working with these, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. Sometimes I end up, you know, going a whole completely different way, or I get a deck in that completely, enchants me, and I end up working with it over others, and I get, lost in its beauty. But the Brady Tarot, it's fairly new to me, but I mean, this is like a masterpiece. It's completely 100% a masterpiece. I love everything about this deck. I really do. I love its animal energy. I love the artwork. It is so there is so much talent in creating these cards. They're just amazing. They blow me away. I love the texture of the cards. I like the edging. It's not that metallic edging. It's that softer gold kind of paint edging. And this is just, I don't know. I like to work with this deck in November. I know other people might choose to use it more in like the spring or the summer, maybe even early summer, but I really enjoy working with it in the fall. I like the animal energy. I enjoy it. This is a great Wheel of Fortune card, like I'm telling you. There's just something about it. I was drawn to it, kind of wanted to work with some animal energy. So this was kind of the direction I'm going for November. Animal wise, I'm going to be definitely working with this. I don't want to get into like my really like humdrum kind of more minimal color palettes quite yet. I tend to leave that more for like February, March area. I still like to work with color in November if I can. I do kind of I do have some decks that are minimal color palettes, whereas this one's so bright and so beautiful. But I'm feeling that like I want to work with this for November. And I know a lot of people are kind of weird on this deck. I don't know why. I mean, it is the cycles of life. And I guess we just kind of don't like to think about that necessarily. But this is very much about death, seasonal in life. So whether it's starting out as an egg and then ending with our final days, whether it's spring, summer, winter, fall, like I feel this deck encompasses all aspects of life and seasons and cycles. And I think it's amazing. It's a phenomenal deck. And I can't say enough good things about the Brady Tarot. It's amazing. So I was kind of on the edge with this one, and this is why I showed this one first. Not 100% sure if I'm going to be working with this one for November, but I want to. So I'm feeling drawn to. So I'm thinking I'm going to work with it for November. I'm going to put it in my box, my November box or basket, and I'll see if I turn to it or not because I'm kind of feeling it. So hopefully I do because I love working with this one. And I haven't gotten to work with it enough yet. I'm due to work with it and spend a little bit more time with it. All right, so my next one I'm going to be bringing in, this is my only oracle that I plan on working with, and that is the Old Ways Magic. This deck is insane. Like, I don't really see anyone talking about it too much. I don't, like I said, I don't frequent YouTube too much. I don't really honestly get the opportunity to all the time. But this is such an amazing oracle for so many different things. Like, I don't even know where to start, honestly. The book is super cool. Love it. We've got our welcome, our warning, and our wisdom. So, I mean, she's got all kinds of stuff, a little bit of a write-up about what's in the picture. The only thing that might throw some people off is they're not numbered. So you kind of have to look in here. And the weird part is she's kind of, I don't know how to explain it. Like Wild Mage, for example. The Wild Mage gives the name and then the Wild Mage. So you kind of have to look through the second part of the words to find these. It's weird, but you'll learn the system and it's okay. This deck is so phenomenal, it doesn't even matter. Um, Probably some of the most interesting cardstock I've ever had. It has a plasticky feel to it. It almost kind of gave the printing a metallic look to it. It's it's really interesting. I don't have any deck that's like this. It's such an interesting texture. Um, I feel like I can wipe these down, like, honestly, like, with a Lysol wipe and wipe them down, and they'll be fine. I'm not going to, but they have this plasticky feel to them, and it's really neat. The backs are super cool. It is a smaller oracle once again. That's why it took me so long to kind of purchase this. I tend to buy oracle decks that have at least 42 to 46 cards or more, and I believe this is 36. I might be wrong. Let me see. 36. I was right. All right. So it is a little bit of a smaller oracle, but I mean, honestly, it doesn't feel like a small oracle to me. The artwork is amazing. There's so much going on in these images to take from. There's animals, there's fairies, there's earth elements, there's astrological things. It is an amazing oracle, and I like, honestly, like, listen to it. Like, some people maybe won't like that, but having I like sound with my cards, if that makes any sense. It might not make sense, but it's like, I don't know, it just sounds really cool, and I like it. But this is a phenomenal, phenomenal oracle. I love it. There's so much going on in it. Like, after you spend some time, like, really looking at these cards and really staring at it, like, this earth coming out here, it's like, it looks like a dragon. And I didn't even realize that. And there's like eyes in these waves. Like, it's crazy. This deck is trippy. Like, honestly, it's a trippy deck. But I love it. I love it. I'm so glad I brought this into my collection. It has this, like, exactly the title, old magic feel. Old ways magic, 100%. It's very pagan. It's very I don't know. I love all these old, like, chrome faces in it. Oh, I love it. So I'm really looking forward to working with this one big time. I'm excited that it's here. And it's funny because this got lost in the mail. It was lost in the mail for 2 weeks, and I didn't think I was going to get it. And I was going to reach out to the creator and just be like, I think it's lost. Like, what do we do about this now? It's still registering. Oh, it's so slippery. If you like to riffle shuffle, you'll like this. Um, it's still registering with Canada Post as lost. So, they can't, like, I don't know. It's a mystery how it even got to me. I don't even know what's going on. Canada Post, like, didn't even, like I said, it's still registering as lost. They actually contacted me because I had to start a ticket on it, and they were like, I'm gonna say it's lost, so you might want to reach out to the creator or whoever you bought it from and start a return or an exchange or whatever they can do for you. And I'm like, it's been here. I'm like, it's here. And they're like, what do you mean it's there? And I'm like, it's here. It's been here for like almost a week now. And they were like, okay. So interesting. But this is the deck that it came in with. So I feel like it's like my good luck deck, and it brought in my lost oracle. Um, I just did a video about this. The Solero Occulto Melora. That's I have a hard time saying the last. My tongue doesn't want to, like, do the sound. I think it's Melilora. I'm just calling it Solero Occulto because it's just easier. And even that's, like, I usually refer to it as a Solera. It's just easier. Um, okay, guys, like, seriously, this deck is insane. I love it. Love everything about it. I'm keeping the oracle separate from the deck with the booklet in between. I'm not mixing it all together. I don't always tend to turn to this oracle, but this oracle is fantastic. I love it. I love everything about it. The pictures are amazing. The energy's amazing. It's such a cool feeling. Such a cool feeling. Anyone who watches my channel knows that I've kind of going through a little bit of like a stress and anxiety leaf right now, and I'm just having a lot of there's a lot of issues coming forward, and I'm not going to get into all of it, but I've sought help, and I'm in the process of correcting the situation and trying to help myself get through it and go with it and whatnot. And the eclipses, like the eclipse season that just passed, the eclipses did a number on me, and they were definitely part of the situation as well too. Um, but this card, I keep getting this card. Every time I use this oracle, I keep getting this card. And it freaks me out, and I'm not ready to face that yet, and that situation with it yet. So I've kind of put this off to the side because that card is stalking me, and I'm not ready to deal with that yet. However, this though, I've been using this every night since it's gotten here. Um, I tend to keep a deck by my bedside that I work heavily with every night, every day, every morning. It's like my go-to deck. And then, so this just replaced the Moonchild Shadow Edition. That deck has been sitting by my bedside and I've been working with for a couple months now. This is now taken its spot. So even though I feel like I'm not necessarily ready to say goodbye to the Moonchild, I'm going to put it off to the side and I'm going to put this one into its place, and I'm going to be working with this one for until I'm tired of working with it. And the next one kind of bumps it out. So this is definitely one that I'm working with, I'm enjoying, I'm loving. It is amazing. There is something about this burnt orange and these golds and the black and the whites, like this color palette just does it for me. I love everything about it. I can't even these figures, a lot of people look at them and some people might be like, they're a little weird or, kind of youthful looking. These characters there's so much going on with them. And I can't even explain it. This deck is amazing. I love it. I'm so happy that it's finally here, and I'm so happy that get to experience it and spend time with it. It's great. I don't even know how else to explain it. The color palette is awesome. Like, I love it. So, like, this has gone into like my next to my bed or under my pillow. It's actually spent the last couple nights under my pillow, and I've just been hanging out with it, bonding with it deep, spending time with it. I love it. There's something with the way that she's printed it where it feels like it's like printed in layers. Like, and I don't even know how else to explain it. I don't know how to explain the way that they look. And I'm sure you'll know when you see it in person. But there's it's just there's something about the way that it's been drawn and printed that really, really, really is quite amazing. It feels like and I've said this before about another tarot card deck that I'm going to show you that I'm working with for November. It's like it's printed on ceramic. There's like a depth to the printing. There's a depth to the picture that I don't know how else to explain. But I love it. I love everything about it. And I'm really enjoying my time with this. I love this card. There's a lot of wonderful stuff that's happening with this deck, and I'm so happy it's here. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's a good one. It's a good one. If she sells any of these, once she sent out all her Kickstarter, if she has any of these available in the shop, I highly suggest for you guys to pick it up. You will not be disappointed. It is a phenomenal deck. Okay, so for November, I'm also going to be putting the Rackham Tarot in my November box. I've had this for a while. I love Los Scarbeos. I know some people are like weird about them, but I love Los Scarbeos decks. Like, I really honestly do. Um, this deck is like the Solero, where it's like the images have that depth, that almost printed on ceramic look. I don't know what it is, but I love it. So this is definitely uh, on my top of my list for November. I really want to work with this one as well as obviously the Solera, sorry. but I'm feeling this deck for November. It's got that beautiful, once again, kind of a darker color palette. The artwork is phenomenal. You do need to kind of know your cards a little bit, like your references, like your numbers and like your tarot a little bit deeper, because the images definitely are not rider weight based. They are just their own thing. There's the title card. I always keep my title cards in to protect. But yeah, like I'm looking forward to working with the Rackham. I've worked with it before, briefly, but I want to do, like, I'm going to spend some time with this deck and really get in deep with it because it's a good one. I'm in the process of trying to collect like all of the ones. Like I have the Rackham. I plan on getting the Edmund Dulac. I want that one. There's the John Bauer. I want to get that one. So those two are on my list. Um, I have the Klimt. I have that one. I love that one too as well. So like, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm in the process of collecting all of those from Los Scarbeos right now. It's very slow, but I'll get them eventually. All of them. But yeah, the Rackham. Really looking forward to working with this one for November. I'm also going to be working with the Witch Tarot. I feel like this is going to bring me, this is kind of a good November energy to me. I'm I'm feeling this one for November, so I'm going to be kind of working with this one, seeing what's going on with it. Uh, I really enjoy the artwork. But once again, like it is a little of a darker color palette, but like it still has these bright, beautiful pops of color. So I'm going to be, I want to work with this one as well too. So this is definitely going into my November basket. It's such a cool deck. It's really, really strange, but in all the right ways. Like these sigils are crazy to me. I don't know. I love this, the cups. The cup suit is amazing in this. I really like it. They're all, I'm looking forward to working with this one. I think I'm going to, I haven't really decided. I was thinking I was going to black out the edges, but I don't know. It kind of looks okay with the gray and not touched. So I don't know. And it is a little bit, if you watched my video on it, on the Dark Cinnabar decks, it is uneven, like the way they cut it. It's not 100% even. So I don't know if I'm going to bother wasting my time edging it. I kind of like it the way that it is, to tell you the truth. So I'll probably just end up leaving it. I'm also adding into my November box the Hush Tarot. I want to work with this one. This is one that I keep trying to work with it. And every time it comes time to work with it, I end up not getting the opportunity to work with it. And I don't know why. But I feel like this is very much a fall deck. But I feel like it kind of goes into, it's starting to kind of lead into like the darker energy of fall. So I think that it's great for this time of year. So I'm going to try to actually start working. I want to work with this deck, and I'm going to make an effort to actually spend some time and get to know the Hush Tarot and to work with it. I'm very drawn to it. So I'm not really sure why it just keeps not clicking with me. And not because I don't want to work with it, not because I'm not attracted to it. It just seems to be the way. So I don't know, maybe I'll cleanse it and then like reset it maybe. I don't know. I really want to work with it. So I'm going to make an effort to really honestly work with this deck this November. And then last but not least, I'm going to work with the Marielle. Um, I don't know. This is a horrid, this whole thing is like a really awkward setup. The book, like phenomenal. Yeah, it's amazing. This, however, this is just, I hate when they do this. First of all, it totally screws up the edges of your cards. So I think what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be ripping like all of this out. I'm going to gut this box and then I'll just put the book down inside and then I'll put this into a bag and put it on top because I hate this. Like this wrecks your cards. Like this laminated edge that's folded, no, but this sharp right here, like how it's just, it wrecks things and it's annoying to me. Like, and I think that's what part of the problem is. I haven't worked with the Mary L as much as I've wanted to or had intentions on. And I think that's why, because the deck or the box completely irritates the shit out of me. So I think I'm going to be changing that. This was another deck that it's got that crappy chrome metallic dipped edge. So some of the cards were stuck together. There was no damage, thank God. Um, I don't know. The Marielle is an intense deck, but I want to work with it. And it might not be, I might not get to it, but I really, really want to work with it. And the reason why I might not turn to it is I might just not be able to take its energy this month. But I do want to work with it for November. It's an amazing, like just flipping through it, I'm so attracted to it. And I'm just like, oh, I need to work with it. It's got that dark, old feel. And I keep saying dark, and I don't want you guys to think like dark, like as in, dark and sinister. Just, it's shadowy. There's depth to it. It isn't afraid to go where others will not. Um, I don't know. It's crazy. It's got such a crazy energy to me. So I'm definitely putting it into my November box. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to spend time with it. This High Priestess card is awesome. It's insane. Um, and that World card too is so beautiful. Uh, I'm hoping I'll be able to work with it. I plan on it. But the Muriel, it's intense. So I might not be able to handle it this month because of my personal issues that I'm dealing with right now. But I don't know, it might surprise me. It might help me out. I am still working with the Shadowland. So every time I feel a panic attack coming on or like that fight or flight response triggered in me, like if I have a question about my anxiety that I'm feeling, or I have a question about what I'm going through involving that whole thing, I go to the Shadowland. I'll grab it. It's right here off to the side. So honestly, like when I start to feel like when I have questions about what I'm going through, when I have questions about a panic attack or a memory that comes up that triggers that fight or flight, anything to do around that whole entire situation that I did the video about this on, I I turn to this deck. So this deck is still part of my work right now. It's very specific to that situation only. So I'm only turning to it when I have like a question about why am I feeling this sensation? What triggered this sensation? How do I move through this panic attack that's set on to me? Different things like that. I'm using this whole setup right here. I talk about it in a video. I'm not going to go too in depth with it right now in this video. If you go to my channel, you can find what it all encompasses and what the details are and all of that stuff is in the video. So I'm still working with this. I'm still spending time with this. Um, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be like staying with this for a while. even though October is done, because it does kind of have a little bit of like a Halloween energy to it, but it doesn't at the same time. So I'm going to continue working with this. This is still part of my system, but it is not being put into my November box because like this just needs to be out and about and available for me to grab when I need to grab it when a situation happens, right? Or I shouldn't say situation, when an episode happens or like a spell happens, right? So I'm definitely still working with this. All right, so this is what's going to be in my November basket. This is kind of the energy and direction I'm going to be going with for my November. The Brady Tarot, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it. I'm definitely feeling these. The Brady I'm drawn to, but I'm not entirely sure how much I'm going to turn to it because I really want to concentrate on working with the Hush um, and the Rackham. And then obviously this one is, like I said, this one's in by my bedside. This is like definitely getting used. But even the Mary L. So the Mary L, the Hush, and the Rackham is kind of like I really want to work with them for November. I'm long overdue working with them. So I really want to concentrate on my energy with them. This one is brand spanking new. It's only been here a few weeks. So this one honestly can kind of, if I don't turn to it right away, that's okay. I've got time for it later on down the road. Same with the Brady. So I don't know. That's where I'm going with my November. That's what's going to go into my basket. And like I said, I'm going to grab like some oracles other than this one that I might work with throughout November. But like I said, the oracles are kind of like the spur of the moment pick for me. Um, and I will just find like whichever one kind of encompasses the energy of what I'm experiencing at that moment. And I'll kind of put them in sporadically. So I'm not going to be putting too many into my basket necessarily. I'll pick a couple. But this is kind of like my November energy that's happening here, guys. And I'm really excited about it. I'm I don't know. I'm down with it. It's going to be good. I'm ready to bring in this energy. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, like, subscribe, all of that awesome stuff, throw down comments. Tell me what your experiences have been with working with these decks. When do you turn to them? What have what have you experienced with them? Let me know. I'd be interested to hear. They're all really quite amazing decks, honestly, to tell you the truth. Sometimes I stand in my collection and I get so stumped on who to work with because I'm like, there's so many fantastic ones. Like, I don't even know what I want to work with. And like I said, I put these baskets together like monthly. Sometimes I don't even touch them. Sometimes I end up going a completely different route and working with completely different ones. So, it just all depends. But I try to set my intentions. I try to set my energy for the beginning of the month. And this is kind of where I'm going. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for joining in.